Hi you guys, this is a quick tutorial on how to graph linear equations without a table. So first you have to be given slope-intercept form, which is a linear equation, an equation of a line. So y equals mx plus b. If you see an equation that looks like it has a y and an x and nothing else, it means it's going to be a straight line. So m is always going to be our slope or growth number for our linear equation. It's also known as our growth pattern, our rate of change, and how it moves. It's also seen in fraction form as rise over run. And then b is our y-intercept, our initial value, and beginning. So here are the three steps. One, you begin by graphing your y-intercept. So you start with b. That's why it stands for b for begin. And then from your y-intercept, you're going to graph the next few points using your slope slash move slash rise over run. Then you draw the line to connect all the points. So let me show you my first example over here. So my first example is I got over here, I got y equals 2x minus 5. I know that m is always next to my x. So that means m is equal to 2. And then this right here, -5 is in the b position. So I know that that's going to be where my y-intercept is at 0, 5. And let me not forget the negative. So now putting that together, we are going to start by graphing my point. So let's take a look. We're going to scroll down to my graph. Let me make sure it's lined up a little bit more evenly. Okay, there we go. So first I find -5, so I start at 0, and it's on my y-axis, vertical. So your point is always going to be on that vertical line right there. And then this horizontally is my x-axis. So I'm going to go down by 5 and make my point. Now, according to my slope, it's 2, and there is an invisible 1 underneath to make the fraction. So that means this positive 2 tells me to rise. So I'm going to go up. And then this 1 underneath is going to tell me to run, and that's going to run to the right because it's positive. So now I'm going to just go up by 2, so 1 and 2. So up by 2, and then I'm going to go over by 1. And I'm going to make my point. So over by 1. And now that I have my point, I'm going to make it dark. Now I repeat the same process. I'm going to go up by 2, over by 1, up by 2, over by 1, up by 2, over by 1. And if you notice, I start creating this pattern, and before I know it, I have 5 points, at least 5 points on the line, and now I have a line. Notice when the slope is positive, it means your graph is going up. Is going up. Does that make sense? Let me erase that line just a little bit and fix it. And then for the second example, we got example number 2 over here. Example number 2 is y equals -1/2 x plus 5. Let's do the same thing we did before. So what's m? M is -1/2. So notice you see how I said -1/2? So that means I'm going to go down by 1. Then I'm going to go over by 2. And then after that, this 5 is where I'm going to start at, 0, 5. So let me pick a different color, and then now I go to 0, 5. I start first with my y-intercept, begin there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my y-intercept. And then my point says to go down by 1 and then to the right by 2. Down by 1, over by 2, down by 1, over by 2, down by 1, over by 2, and down by 1, over by 2. And then now I have at least 5 points. Also, if you guys didn't know, you can actually go reverse. So instead of going down by 1 and to the right by 2, I actually can go up by 1 and then backwards by 2. And after that, I just create my line. And if this was a systems of equations, the points of intersection where they cross right here, and that would be at 4, 3, that would be the solution to both equations. So that is my quick tutorial on how to graph linear equations.